What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1. Today we're going to dive a little bit into how we met, who we are, um, the funs and adventures of what it's like to own a business, start a business together, how we got to this point, the struggles we've had all along the way, things that we did terribly, things that we've learned to do better, and things that kind of just happen that we don't really think too much about, as well as bring our faith into our business and all the different things that come with that, especially in 2026 where it's not exactly a popular thing. All while raising 3 kiddos and some friends along the way. So if you have kids, sometimes you know exactly how that goes. So my name's Charlie. I'm 31 years old. I've been in the fitness industry basically my whole adult life since I've graduated. Everything from traveling to nutrition side to supplements to personal training, coaching, running a gym, managing a gym, everything in between all the way up to here. I actually met her in a gym. So I was at the current time a trainer at a local Anytime Fitness I was at. And she came in for a job interview wearing her lovely lady tux. And she had a little business suit. But and actually, the first thing she ever told me to do was to go F off. Because I was sitting there minding my own business, being an angel, eating my meal prep, doing literally nothing, not even a part of the conversation.
So totally.
And the gym manager at the time made this sly comment to her about not sleeping with coworkers, threw my name out there as a joke. I'm literally just sitting there eating, not even looking at her. And yeah, she told me I can go F off. So not sure how I became the victim in that situation. I got attacked, but whatever. Yeah, and that's kind of where we met. So
Yeah.
let's talk about yours.
Okay. I'm Anisha, 36 years old, getting ready to be 37. Thankfully, you'll be 32, not far after. But yeah, we met at Anytime Fitness. Definitely the conversation he just said happened. At the time, though, currently I was married, working in an industry with a bunch of men. You have to set a precedence, ladies, if you know, you know, that I was very faithful in my marriage. So walked in, Charlie being Charlie, had a wonderful smile, was a great guy. More importantly, became my friend very quickly through the traumatic experience of my ex-husband cheating on me for the 7th time. And we became close friends after that. Actually, strictly platonic, is that the word I'm looking for? We had to go to a lot of events together for Anytime and things like that, and became really close friends. And then, yeah, we ended up on a business trip together, and we had a lot of things in common. And at this point, he had dated other people, I had dated other people, and both realized, like, okay, people really annoy us except for each other. And then we kind of haven't really separated since then. So it's been pretty close ever since. So
Yeah, like she said, it was completely platonic at the moment. You know, after everything had happened, I knew all that, so I made sure, like, you know, on Valentine's Day, I got her some chocolate strawberries, different stuff.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So just little things, just you know, I was always taught, like, a boy looks out for himself, a man looks out for the ones around him, but a great man will take care of the ones even bigger circle. So that was always my philosophy with it. So obviously wanted to do that. She worked with me. I saw her every day. I knew kind of the stuff that I went through. So she'd bring the kiddos in every once in a while. So of course I always teased with them. And
You actually got them
there.
gifts too. Yeah, I forgot about that. My daughter, my oldest daughter, actually had like a really big crush on Charlie in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was a genuine, like, she thought she had a chance type thing.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so then like she said, you know, she She had actually made a move prior to that. She won't tell you that.
Wow.
But yeah, she got drunk one night and ended up staying the night with me. So I didn't want her to drive home or anything, and tried to make a
Early
move,
years.
but we nicked it. So about 6 months later is when we went on the business trip, and for the most part, everybody else took off. They wanted to drink, they wanted to go party, act a fool. I didn't want to, so I'm like, I'm not going. She actually initially went with them. Was like, well, I want to make sure nobody gets hurt or in trouble, and they actually ended up going to someone else's cabin. And I remember I was getting ready to get in the hot tub, so I had changed, and she came walking back in. Was like, hey, they actually didn't go out. They're just at someone's hot tub, so I know they're okay. They're safe. And they're drunk and acting stupid. I don't want to be there. So she came back. We actually just listened to some music and all that. Yeah, and then
There was actually several events that I feel like we didn't really want to go to, that we were like, the company actually like forced you to go to. And
forced me to hike one time. I hated it.
yeah.
I sweat so much. It was not fun.
That was actually so fun having to like stay with you on that.
I hated it so much. Well, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the hike to the waterfall. Like
The first
yeah,
one.
the mud stashes they forced us to do. Like they were cool in the sense of it. Like, we got to take a friend of ours through, and that was really special. But
Yeah.
I'm a little claustrophobic, and one of the paths has like a really narrow like cave tunnel type thing, and if I have to turn sideways, it's too tight.
Oh my god, and our exes showed up that day too. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
they were both crazy. That was interesting. Yeah. And it was actually still just a work thing at that point. Like, we actually were still just really
Mhm.
close friends. Like, nothing had even happened at that point. Yeah, so we went through a lot of crazy stuff together, I feel like, especially in the beginning. And then you tie in the kids, which is, I think, where things really got crazy. Because there was, like, several moments where you just didn't know if you were quite ready for that. And then I was
I
still
was 22
healing.
at the time, so
Yeah.
taking on 3 kids is a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first 6 months to a year was like really touch and go. I mean, obviously, we were very close and connected, but we also,
Whatever that means.
yeah, there was a lot of can't keep your hands off of each other type things, obviously, new
That's
in a
always in a new
relationship.
relationship, though.
Yeah. So, but it was hard. I mean, there were several times that you like sat in the car and wasn't quite sure if you even wanted to come in. And then on top of that, it was, I was still healing from, all of the trauma I had went through from X to X. And then shortly after we actually got together, it was about 6 months after we got together, we split because I was crazy. Every
About
weekend.
8 months in. It was close that summer.
I was breaking up with you like every weekend.
Hmm.
Past trauma, of course, tells you that you're not enough. And long story short, I was made to feel that way in every relationship. So when you finally do get with somebody who's treating you properly, the first thing you want to do is run, because it's too good to be true. You can't understand in your brain why you feel like this person actually wants to love you. And you think that it's all fake. It's delusional. Like something's going to drop and you're scared of losing it, but it's easier if you walk away. That was something that was really hard to explain to Charlie. And one of my favorite things I think that I will forever hold on to was when we split, I actually I think I half begged you, first not to leave, but then secondly, I just asked you to be my friend. And he came over and he held me while I cried. And it was the first time in my whole life that I didn't run to another guy. I genuinely just let it hurt. And I didn't expect anything back from it. I just knew that he actually treated me really well and that I really loved him. And I didn't want to run to another person. And I think that for me was I really wanted to try to change. I didn't want my past to really affect the two of us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I actually took you and the kids to Pizza King too, actually.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that
That's
first 6 to 8 months. I mean it was almost religiously every Saturday night. It'd be 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'd be going to the gym. I knew as soon as I was 2 exercises done, I was getting a text message from you that I don't think we should be together, blah, 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 whatever it may be. And for the first while, I would text you back, tell you, whatever, talk to you about it, do all these things. I think after about 6 or 8 months, it was like,
This is tiring.
well, it was hard because it's like, I don't know if I'm ready or want to take on 3 kids who aren't mine. I'm 22. I'm,
One at the time, there was a possibility that we couldn't have any more kids because that was before we knew my coil had issues. So like
Right.
you knew that you may not ever be able to have kids either.
yeah, so that was a big part of it. We thought there was obviously still a chance. We took it out. Yeah, so it was just a lot. It was, you were still mama bear, so it was like they weren't my kids, and you made that very clear. And I feel like we were raised in some ways similar, but some ways very different.
Yeah.
So I was raised very,
Stern.
very stern, very old school, I'll say, in a lot of things.
Well, and like our families, so like my parents split when I was younger. Your parents didn't split till you were like way older too. So I feel like that was just like a huge difference for the two of us
Yeah.
too.
Well, I mean, I'd say that one of the biggest differences is more of our fathers than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously your dad was pretty laid back, pretty chill when you did see him. Bill's a pretty mild tempered guy,
And
which is her stepdad.
Yeah.
And he's pretty cool. He had his moments, like he did have his lines, but my dad was definitely a lot more stern. Like he was very much right is right, wrong is wrong. Like I got my fair share of butt whoopings growing up, and not saying none of them wasn't deserved or anything like that, but as a kid at that time, and even from outside eyes looking in, I know a lot of people don't like it. They have their opinions on it. I'm older and looking back, and I'm grateful for a lot of it. Like,
See, and I was raised opposite, right? Like I only remember one time. But I remember my stepdad getting loud with me a couple times, which I call him my dad. But he got loud with me a couple times, and that in itself was enough to scare me. And I think that's why, like, I've seen that with the kids over the years too. Like, you literally just get loud, or you're stern with them, and they freak out. Like,
well, and that's because they never had that for the most part.
Right. Right.
I mean, there's a big difference between your dad getting loud or stern with you, being a man to a girl at the
Yeah.
time, versus a man to a boy, or a man to becoming a young man. So for us, I mean, sometimes there are that, but it was more or less like, there was, my dad had and still does, I mean, dad had a very firm code that he lived by, and you weren't going to tell him any different. And it's crazy looking back at the things that are different, because I remember one time, I wanted so bad just for him to play ball with me, and he I didn't see him for like 3 days, and I remember he finally came home. I remember he sat down in his recliner, and I was so excited. I'm like, cool, Dad's home. It's like noon or 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. We're finally gonna have a chance to play or throw some ball together. Like, my mom didn't do that stuff. She really couldn't. And I don't really remember how old my sister was, but she didn't really do that stuff either. But I remember he finally came home. I remember I was laying on the living room floor watching TV, and I'm like, all right, I gotta figure out this perfect time to ask him to play ball with me. And I don't want to do it right off the bat. That'd be too obvious. So I remember I waited probably 15, 20 minutes goes by. Commercial comes on about playing with your kids, playing outside 30 minutes a day. If you're my age, you remember those commercials. And I remember that, and I'm like, cool, perfect. But I can't do it right now because that's too obvious. So I'm going to wait till this next commercial's done, then I'm going to turn to ask him. So I waited, turned, was like, hey, Dad, you want to go outside and play ball? And he was passed out, just zonked. And I remember at the time I was upset because I'm like, dude, like, you yell at me all the time, and you finally come home and you sleep, like.
Yeah.
I remember I was so upset, and then come to find out, obviously when I was older, the reason I didn't see him for those 2 or 3 days is he used to work at a plant in Columbus called, now it's Hostess. But, he worked up there, and he had worked 3 days straight. And out of 72 hours, he'd worked 64 of them. And, that's a big part of what drove me to be who I am. So for me, it's one of those deals was like, I've seen what my dad did to give me the opportunities I have. So for me, it's an opportunity that I now have the responsibility to take that and take it one step further for my kids.
So do you think that's why, like, my favorite thing about my husband is every night, never fails, before the video game that he plays,
I don't play it every night.
is he goes in with our girls every night and tries to with Trevor, but Trevor's 18 now. But I feel like this started, I don't know. I mean, I feel like on and off you've done it throughout the years, but in the beginning when we were building the business, you were so busy. But now we're still both very busy. But I feel like it's almost become routine that he goes into the girls' room like every night and just sits and talks with them for just a few. It's not always anything like extravagantly long. I feel like sometimes it's just like 10 minutes, but you do that every night. Like, do you feel like that's partly because of everything with your dad?
I don't know if it's that or not. I know as I've gotten older, one prevailing truth in life is the only thing we really have in this life is time. Like, that's all you really have. That's all you can invest. People say you can invest time and money. Money's not true. You invest time to make money, and then you reinvest the money. But, like, at the end of the day, you invested time to make that money in the first place. So
I feel like that's where we differed for a while, though, right? Like, when we started the business, like, you were focused on money. I was focused on time. Like, because so until I met Charlie, it was always, I held all the jobs. Sometimes most of the time it was 3 jobs. Even when I was working at Anytime, I worked 2 jobs, trying to provide for the kids. So I worked a lot. So I never got to see them. So for me, money was nothing, right? Like, that was the only thing I could do was take them to go do stuff in the small fragments of time that I was off. So for me, money meant nothing. For him, it meant everything. Like, and then I feel like it was different, right? Like, I feel like it switched. Somewhere along the way, like, it became more about, like, I wanted time with my kids, but I feel like that was such a huge transition though too, because it was like I almost didn't know how to be a mom anymore. Like, I had worked so much, like I was just good at work.
well, and for the men out there who are laughing because you noticed that she cut me off mid-answer of her previous question to ask another question, I'll finish that part first. So, we only get to invest one thing, right? We can invest time. So you can invest time to make money, to build a business. You can invest time in relationships and whatever. So I always try to consciously make a decision or make a choice to invest consciously some time towards relationships or things that matter. I've made it a bigger point to call friends, to call my parents, to call people and talk to them. Take time, put my phone somewhere where I can't hear it and just be around them for a little while. So, and it's the real world. It's not like we have some crazy amount of time. Like she said, we have 3 or 4 businesses we run together. Depending on how you want to break them down, we can go further than that, but we'll at least say 3 or 4. So obviously there's a lot to us, but money doesn't mean anything to me.
But I think for a while, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you felt like you did have time. Like, if we build this, then we'll be able to have freedom.
Well, we will. That's not the question. It's just a matter of when. And at the end of the day, like, one of the biggest things I think people make a mistake of is, like, we unconsciously get selfish. Like, we're put on this earth to serve. We're not put on this earth to have fun and do all these crazy things that we see on social media. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. Don't twist it. But that's not our purpose. Like, our purpose is relationships. Our purpose is spreading the gospel. Our purpose is investing and loving each other. Our purpose is, being that servitude towards other people. And for me, or even for us, we're blessed enough where we have the opportunity to do that for a living. We're in the fitness industry. Our whole life is nothing but service. So we literally do service for a living, right? Like, when we serve our clients, when we serve our members, people think it's cool to work in a gym. You're a glorified mom. All we do is re-rack weights, clean stuff, restock toilet paper, That's what working in a gym in reality is you're basically just keeping the place looking good for other people. It's just a service job. It's not some glorified, you're Mr. Popular, cool, or whatever. Same with real coaching. It's a service. You know, we're serving them. What is your struggle? What is this? Even if we know this is the best path, if it doesn't work for you, I have to reroute the whole path to what works for you. That's what serving you is. How can I make this work for you?
But I think when we first started the gym, though, right? Like, I do believe it was very selfish. Like, I do feel like it was for us. I feel like in the last, like, 2 years, it's become more about, like, how can we serve God in our business?
Yeah.
But I feel like when we started this, it was like a dream. Like, it was like, holy crap, this is happening. And I think it became somewhat of, like, almost like a fourth child. Like, we had to invest so much time and energy into this that, like...
Well, you're building something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I think that was hard to distinguish between the kids and here, because it was like, okay, but if we build this, then we have something for them.
I don't think so. Like, obviously, I'm building something that if the kids wanted to take over, they could have generational wealth in that sense, right?
Right.
Now, none of our kids have shown an interest. They don't seem to care at all about taking over, which is
Maybe Chelsea.
perfectly fine. They get that freedom. That's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. You know, maybe one day a grandkid will, or maybe one day I'll simply sell it off to an employee who's going to do great things with it, or whoever else, you know.
I think the coolest part is, though, is that we got to raise our kids in it, though. Like, I remember, we talk about this all the time, is like COVID. Like, when the whole thing shut down and, like, the kids had the Nerf guns and all that stuff, and, like, they were shooting and having, like Nerf wars inside the gym. So, I mean... I don't know.
And we have a kids room. We get parents to bring their kids here, and we have kid events all the time, and train students, and we have, you know, summer camps where kids get to come work out. Like,
our kids participated in a lot of those too.
Yeah, I mean, this has become just a part of our lives in that sense of things. Like, it's way more than that. And that's kind of like I was saying as far as getting us freedom, because, you know, whether we realize it or not, like, you know, you've made it to 98% of kids' stuff. I mean, most people who work a 9 to 5 or work whatever job don't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
You can leave at 10 a.m. and go pick the kid up from school. Most places don't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
You've had that freedom. Monday, a kid was sick. You stayed at home. You didn't lose income because of it.
Yeah.
Like, most places don't get that freedom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were able to build it, and even in the sense we have more freedom now than we did with other jobs, but...
I think for a while, though, like, especially in the beginning, I think we let it take over us. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I feel like over the years, we have found our balance with it. Like, we do have to put our foot down. We have to have boundaries, because Charlie and I are both very, very big in, I feel like, sometimes people-pleasing, to an extent. I feel like we balance each other out very well. Like, if you're people-pleasing, I feel like I can try to, like, you know, fix that, and you can do the same thing for me. We've always balanced each other pretty well, I feel like, until sometimes I think we end up on the same playing field sometimes. And we're both, like, really bad, like, you know, I don't want to handle this, you don't want to handle this, like, we don't want to make anybody mad, but...
Well, and that's the growth part of it, but people pleasing and being in the service industry, I mean, that's the two things always go hand in hand, right? Where do you ride that fine gray line of I'm serving someone, but at the same time I'm not to a point where I'm people pleasing, right? Because at the end of the day, when you start getting into people pleasing, you're no longer serving someone. Like, I guess our best example, and this is kind of a joke in our family, is our youngest daughter, Chelsea. For the longest time, our older daughter would play mother hen, she would play mother hen, and they would just baby her. Every time something he'd done, they did it. So then at, like, however old, she had no idea how to do anything, right? They people pleased her. They made sure she was happy. They gave her everything she needed. And now that she would try to do something on her own, she has no idea what she's doing. Granted, now she does. She's older and all that stuff. But at the time, she didn't. And that's the same thing that happens with people pleasing in a gym. If we give them everything and make all these different adjustments, all these different things, then the client has no idea how to do things on their own. They have no idea how to come up with a workout plan, remember their own weights. That one drives me insane. We've done extensions 10 times, Susie. How do you not know what you use? I don't know. Someone puts it on, I just do it. Right? You're not doing her a service. She has no idea what she's doing. You're not teaching her anything. You're making her dependent. That's not serving someone.
But while you're talking about a frustration, I feel like this is kind of, I'm going to rope it back into about, like, me and you and kind of like our story here. But I feel like that's part of it, right? Like, I'm kind of glad we went down that road, because this frustration that he's feeling right now over some of those things does come home. Like, it trickles into our kids, just like any job does, right? Trickles into your kids, trickles into your family. But the biggest reason I think we chose to do this podcast was for the simple fact of like, it's really hard to be married and own businesses together and like live at home together. So many people ask us like, how do you guys work together, live together, all those things. We actually physically in 2021 got married in the gym, like under the squat rack in the gym. But I think it was just something that, I don't know. I mean, the dream was there. Maybe not in the sense I think that we both quite wanted, but it was there. So then I think it's just been something that we've chased, and we've done this for so long now. It was exciting, and then actually Darius actually had this great comment a little bit ago that he feels like he's still just trying to do what he wanted to accomplish. But I feel like sitting in this moment right now, looking back at it, I'm like, there's so many times I have to just genuinely sit in this building and be like, wow, like we did this. Like we are, what, 6 years in? 7 years in?
It'll be 7 in August.
Yeah, 7 in August. We're now on our second location, which took a huge leap of faith. And I feel like even tussled with our marriage a little bit. I mean, that was really hard. You know, Charlie wasn't quite prepared for that. I prayed a lot over that. Told God, you know, that it was something where that would be something that solely served him. This one was started, I feel like, again, selfishly. And that one I wanted to do nothing but to serve him. But I feel like the faith has ended up in both of our gyms now. And we didn't realize how much people needed it, more than I think we do now. So I think it's really cool now to look back and be like, this was his plan all along. Like, am I wrong?
Well, and, you know, I don't know how many details are or are not in God's plan.
Right.
You know, the Bible tells us that I'll make all things work for the good of those who love me. So whether it was an important detail in his plan that I owned a gym or not, I have no idea. Do I think he used the fact that we own a gym?
Right.
Yeah. Which is what he tells us we'll do as long as we allow him to. So, you know, that's where, I don't know how many details were, you know, magnified in quote unquote God's plan, or how many things he gives us that complete freedom of choice and just makes it work towards what he has. So I think the details are less in there than that. Some of us vibrated our phone, some of us didn't, as you can clearly tell.
So sorry.
She's not sorry.
I just did.
Wasn't your phone just going off?
No,
No, that was the other one.
that's the gym phone. That's our videographer, Darius. Say hola.
Okay.
It's cool, he's legal. Calm down, Ice.
Very.
And that's the real Charlie. No.
So,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's all out of love.
I think it's been, I don't know, I think it's been interesting to really learn a lot of things about each other, but I feel like in the last year, really, I mean, our relationship has changed dramatically. I feel like we finally, like, stopped running, like, to chase everything and everybody, and I think it's brought us a lot closer together this year than I feel like it ever has. So I think for the first time, you said it the other day, and I think that was so cool to see and to hear as his wife. Like, for the first time, he was like, I'm so excited, like, for the next 30 years. That was, I feel like, the first time that it was like, I'm excited, you know, for our future. Because I think for a long time, you really do get tired. Like, but when you work together and you live together, it's like it all blends in together. Like, you forget the love that was there between the two of you, because you're exhausted and you're like pouring into each other, but just to like get up and serve people the next day. You know what I mean? Like, I think we forgot how to like serve each other almost, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I think it's focusing on the wrong details is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, a big part of it was, you know, and my buddy Adam actually kind of laid this one on me, was I kind of asked him the same question. Like, dude, like, I live with girls. I work with all girls. And I'm like, you do too,
Wow.
man. Like, it's different. There's nothing wrong with you ladies, I promise. It's just men think differently than you do. Like, I'm very logical. You know, if she comes to me and says something happened with Susie, blah, 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 I'm like, okay, well, this is how you can address that, right? Business answer. And she's like, and I'm like, okay, well, like, it's okay that you're upset. What do you want me to say here? Like, and that's the hardest part, right? Because she came to me venting as my wife. I'm in business mode because I'm at work. So I answered as business guy, this is how you handle it. And that's a lot of the struggles that, you know, owning and working a business together kind of comes from, and kind of having you know, understanding like a business only can get where it needs to go if you're going in one direction. So, and having two different directions and two different thoughts and all these different things, it just makes it worse, right? If she's paddling one direction, I'm paddling another, we're gonna end up just going in circles, and then we both get mad for no reason.
I think we've said that to each other numerous times too. Like, we're tired of going on like the same hamster wheel. Or I know at least I've said it.
Yeah.
It feels like we were just turning the same boat all the time, and it was just exhausting.
Well, and I feel like a lot of times, like you have a hard time seeing the grand scheme of how things came from, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I've tried to remind you several times, and I know sometimes, you know, you take offense to it or thought of attacking you. But it's like, you know, that's why I tell you that, because I'm like, hey, dude, remember 9 years ago, you're working as a CNA making $14 an hour. Mm-hmm. You now do this making this much. We used to make $2,500, $3,000 a month, you know, raising 3 kids. Now we make this much. Like, the economy's crazy, things got expensive. We've been blessed enough where our finances have kind of come along with it. Like, we're not doing amazing and taking trips on our yacht or anything like that, but like, we're okay. And that's where, for me, it's like, okay, obviously we're growing, because as things get more expensive, we're still able to do things. If not, we wouldn't. So that's where, for me, it's like, you know, which she doesn't see the finances. I handle the finances, the paying the bills and a lot of the things. I do our budget sheets and all that. So she doesn't get to see a lot of that. So for me, I'm like, how do you not realize, like, you swipe your debit card, it never says declined. How do you not realize we are doing better? Like, so part of that's like, okay, you know, she doesn't see that stuff, so obviously she doesn't know. And like she said, for the longest time, she'd work 1 or 2 or 3 jobs, whatever it was. And as soon as she made money, she spent money. She never saw a grand opening of things. She never had a savings account. So for her, she's used to,
Spending.
if I have it, I spend it. So, you know, it's no different than now. She has it, she spends it, so she doesn't see the growth that's happened financially behind it of, okay, well, we have this much in our account versus what we used to have. So, and that's where, like I said, my buddy Adam kind of pointed out to me.
But now I think it's different though, right? So let me cut you
She
off
did
for
it
just
again.
let me cut you off for just a second. I think it's different though. So like most women nowadays though, like, you know, you see all of these like TJ Maxx hauls and, you know, Target hauls and all that kind of stuff, and like I was that girl until like I really had my husband say like, hey, like, I need you to stop spending, which is like super cool, but I work, you know, hard too. So it's kind of one of those things where in my brain, it's always been like, well, you can just work harder. You can make more money. It's fine. It's just money. But then now I've cut back significantly on like doing any of that stuff. Like, I don't buy decorations anymore for the house and things like that. So I think for me, it was really hard when it was like, okay, I've cut back so much, and like, you know, but then I forget that like we reinvested in a new business, and like our kids are more expensive because they're older. You know?
Well, and also like, you know, all the time you say, I want to work less. I want more time off. And it's like, okay, well then you have to spend less.
Yeah.
Like I said, you invest time one way or the other. You invest time to make more money, to do more things, or you invest time in your family relationships, but then you're not making money. You have to find that balance. I feel like that's the balance that most men struggle with so hard is, you know, I may not know when the kids need new shoes, but I know when she swipes the debit card to go buy them new shoes, it's not going to say declined.
Yeah.
You know, that's my role as a father. Like, I'll make sure they're at home, they're safe, and I'll make sure when they need something, they're able to get it.
Back to what your buddy Adam said. Sorry.
She's the one who's going to remember what they need and all that, so I may not know the details, but yeah, you know, I feel like a lot of that growth started coming. My buddy Adam, you know, he put the phrase out there to me, and you know, it was you have to start taking 100% accountability, which sounds very basic and very vague, but essentially what it was, in every situation, you're in control of so much more than you ever realize you are, right? God gave us freedom of choice. We have that. And we don't realize how many little choices we make on a daily basis. Most of them without thinking, right? So it was very simple. She could come at me with a problem. I could be upset about it, whatever it could be. It doesn't matter, right? If I'm trying to get something across, it's my responsibility to get it across. It's not her responsibility to understand it. I have to explain it in a way that she will understand. That's my job. And it's no different with her. If she's trying to tell me something, she has to learn to speak how I speak, right? I'm not going to read your assumptions. I'm not going to read between the lines. I will take exactly what you say, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I know with her, it doesn't work that way. So that's my job to learn. If I want my employee to be doing something differently or more efficiently, whatever, it's my job to understand how I could have helped them do that, how I can help it be easier for them, how I can help make sure they're doing it. How can I put all these things into play? And that is my responsibility as a boss, right? So when I start taking 100% accountability of, okay, I have 24 hours in a day, so do these other people, right? He owns a business. He's physically fit. Guess what? I can probably do that too then. I have to take responsibility for that and make it happen. I cannot sit there and be like, well, Josie grabbed me and I can't stop because, no, it's on me. And at the end of the day, you get one life. There's no do-overs. Don't sit there and be like, oh, well, next time I do this differently. No, there is no next time. This is it. Take responsibility. Drive things the way you need them to be driven. If I'm having a conversation and someone gets upset, I did not deliver it correctly, right? I need to figure out, okay, well, if they're in this attitude and this is how they're receiving it, how can I relay my message to get this across that will be better, right? I'm the one wanting to get a message across, not them. They're not wanting to receive a message. I am wanting to give a message. Therefore, it is on me to deliver that message correctly. And when you start applying that to so many principles in your life, you find out how many things that really you can influence and control better. And
Which I think is really hard, like
Yeah.
when you're trying to do that when you're married, because he will try to almost treat me like an employee, and when you're trying, as the wife, but also the employee, it's very hard to, I think, receive that. I think is kind of the hardest part of, I feel like, working together was how do you communicate, and then how do you shut off, when you come from home to work, and how do you shut off work to go home? When I feel like there's a lot of times it's almost like we have to do like a debrief when we get home, when we see each other. It's like, crap, this happened today, and then it's like, well, we're at home now, we should be at home. So
yeah, and that's one of my sticklers. Is she'll start talking to me like we're at home, stop talking to me about work. We're at home. We're at work 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day. If it's not important enough for to talk about it during that 12 or 13 hours, then it's not important enough that we can't talk about it tomorrow. But she's the opposite. She's forgetful, so she's like, if I think about it, I gotta say it, otherwise I'm gonna forget.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, note it down, put it in your notes. Talk Siri, write down a note saying,
But over the years though, you've gotten way busier though too, doing the back end stuff that it's hard because a lot of people assume that we see each other all day, every day. And it's we may see each other, but he's working on something, I'm working on something. It's really hard to interrupt you. Yeah. In my defense, I come in at 5 a.m. Okay.
She's classic. Babe, let's watch a movie. I don't want to watch that. Let's watch this. Credit scene's over.
Every woman ever.
And then literally we passed out sleeping, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't really care to watch Timmy Loves Susie, P.S. I Love You.
Okay, you did laugh.
And
you did laugh. There was a funny one. That
you
movie
make the
was
best
good.
of situations. So then, literally, I'll sneak out of bed. She'll be passed out. I took the dog out, all kinds of stuff. Literally sit down, push power on the PlayStation. What?
You are so lying.
You're not watching a movie with me?
You opened a can, and that's what woke me up.
I turned on the PlayStation with a pop can. She's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you spending time with me? I'm like, you're spending time with your pillow. Leave me alone.
All right. Well, anyway, so we've talked about almost an hour at this point. So I would say
Where are we at?
probably right at an hour, I think.
37 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Told you.
Well, never mind. I guess we got a little while to go.
You don't have to. It's whenever you guys will stop. It's not a set time.
I mean, I would almost say we just finish with like a recap. I mean, we met in 2016. No, we actually met in 2015. Yeah. Started dating in September of 2016. Got engaged in 2019.
No.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait.
No.
Yeah, it was March.
March of 2020.
And then
320s.
Yeah.
March 20th, 2020.
Yeah.
320.
Charlie's always been big on.
It's easy to remember, and if you're a guy, there's a great one to start using. Okay, simple stuff like that to remember. We got married on Forever 21, right? 08/21. Pick easy numbers, easy things to remember. I like alliterations and sayings.
Yeah.
It'll help you a lot.
Loves that. All
So
the time.
That's how I remembered our anniversary, and she forgot it.
Gosh.
She forgot it.
No. Got married in 2021.
2020.
Here. Well, we physically got married here in
We had our
2021.
ceremony here.
Yeah, had our ceremony here. And then this will be, holy crap, this will be 10 years. Been together 10 years. Yeah.
September.
And we opened,
September and August will be 7 years of the gym.
so in
It'll
2016,
be 9 years of the business. And
2016 we opened, or not opened, 2016 we were both working at Anytime.
yeah,
I left in,
you
gosh, December of 2016.
Did you leave before Christmas or after Christmas?
I think it was like right before.
I know they moved you to Greensburg, and
Yeah.
then we were on vacation.
It was December of that
We
year.
were dating 4 months. Spoiled. I took her our first vacation together. I took her
Wow.
to the Florida Keys.
It was so bad. It was
I
so
let her
bad.
book this little houseboat, and I swear to you, the houseboat might have been a little bigger than this love seat. That's about it. And somehow had a bed, a shower, and a toilet in it all at once. I have no idea how they managed that one.
I thought it was so cute too. It was
She-
so bad. You're gonna tell
So
the story. aren't you?
these houseboats are so small you could hear everything, right? And it was docked at this little peninsula type area. It's like 7, 8 a.m. or something like that. I
We
got
were
a
actually
phone
on
call.
the phone with Anytime.
Yeah, I got a phone call from my boss at the time. Basically, he heard I was quitting and instead offered me a promotion and XYZ, and which was what it was. It wasn't a big deal. I hear just running down the dock. I'm like, all right. She burst open this door, which, mind you, like I said, basically hits the bed because it's so small. Baby, there's a baby whale, and I'm like, dude, we're weighing here. No, there's not. Like, this not even deep enough. Like, this is chest height. There's no way like a baby whale's here. No, I swear, you gotta come look. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'm like, I gotta go. So I get off the phone, and I come walking out.
Sure enough,
It's a sea manatee.
it was a manatee. My heart was like broken too. But in my defense, they had been feeding this manatee, so it was like way larger than it was supposed to be.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it
a
was.
baby. It was it wasn't even taller than me, dude. It was a little bitty thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah, that was a fun recap of the first trip.
Yeah, we went to breakfast one time because like this was in 27. I mean, things were a lot cheaper back then. Breakfast was still like $37 or something
was
crazy
so
for
stupid.
oats, orange juice, and like 2 eggs. It was insane.
And we were so mad because we never found a beach either that we really liked.
Yeah, none of the beaches were good where we were at either.
No.
We kind of went up and down for a while, never found any good ones, but
Yeah, we didn't know that.
it was still a good time though.
So we left there. I went back into nursing for a while. You went and actually worked for Adam.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the interview with Charlie for Adam. That was kind of cool. And then, yeah, you ended up leaving because you wanted to start your own thing, which Adam was super supportive of, which was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then, ironically
Yeah,
enough,
we'd also just moved to Connorsville, so it made the drive another 30 minutes long. So I mean,
that was interesting too. There was actually mold in our house, and at that time, our ceiling ended up falling in. We didn't realize that we were both feeling miserably because we were renting
the house. It wasn't our
Yeah,
house.
yeah, we were renting. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fell in as the whole thing, and then
Yeah. And then
moved to Connorsville.
I'd opened. I was doing online coaching at the time, and she was doing CNA work. I remember my family didn't really understand it, even though at the time my income was actually larger than hers. I got lectured all the time about
Me going to work.
me going to work while she doesn't. That it was ridiculous that she's out there working a job a real job while I don't. That's a side hustle. I should be able to do that on my own and be working, and I can do that at nighttime, and there's no reason she should be doing that. And at the time, we'd been together not even a full year. And then that fall was a year, and I'm like, but I make more money than her. That makes no sense to me. Like, just because I'm doing what I want to do, and I set it up to where I can do it from home, I'm the one who wakes the kids up. I'm the one who takes them to school. I'm the one who makes their breakfast. I'm the one who picks them up from school. Like, I do all that. Why? I don't understand.
And then you started running group fitness out of
Started doing
HealthWorks.
30-day challenges
Yep.
out of a local gym, and then some parks and different things, and which is kind of what the big push to get the gym actually came from, just because like they were getting so popular. It's like, okay, what if I just had my own place I could do this in? There's not really a good gym here in town that everybody seems to love, so maybe that's the direction we go, and this would make us more money, give us a little more freedom and different things. And she was interested in going back into the membership side because she liked it. She liked the impact she could have, and the nursing field at the time was kind of getting sketchy to where you guys were getting yelled at for doing what
Basic.
should just be basic human stuff, letting people go outside and see a sunset and having a conversation with them, but you were getting yelled at for it. So you kind of got to the point where you were losing your relationship with the residents and different things, and it was
And
just kind
I
of
feel like I was flipping a lot too, because I was actually working like 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it was really, really hard on our marriage. Like it was so
well,
hard.
you just started working.
Our relationship at the time.
Yeah, you started working at the recovery center at that point. So you had your CNA, and then you started working part time at the recovery, and then took that full time when you went to security side of it to help with it. So
Yeah, and then I switched into Reed. That became a whole thing. But yeah, then I switched to the security side. Fayette Regional closed, Reed came open, and then that would have been July of that year. And then we actually opened here in August.
August 9th, we signed up our first client. August 10th was our opening day.
Yeah. And then I worked for a little while after that until did that. And then we've been here pretty much ever since. And then just recently opened gym number 2. And
Yeah. So that was kind of the journey to kind of get to this point. Next time we'll dive into some of the beginning struggles, some of the lessons we've learned along the way, and just some different topics we're still learning. And
let us know, do you want us to break it down year by year? Kind of explain a little bit more?
my memory's not that good. Please don't do that.
I feel like there's one distinct thing though, maybe from each year that like, I feel like we could probably talk about. Like there's a few things I feel like we could probably
But
go over.
thank you for listening. Drop in the comments if there's anything particular you want to talk about, whether it be stepping in as a stepfather into a situation, whether it be a woman who's on the other side of that, whether it be coming together through the challenge we had in marriage, if it is owning a business and working together, whatever it may be, guys, drop it in there. Turning our business over to faith, the struggles that came with that, and the blessings. Anything you guys want us to talk about, just kind of drop it below. We'll look at it. Can't promise I'll talk about all of it, but I'll talk about most of it. We'll see.
Stay for the dad jokes. They're pretty funny. Sometimes.
They're not that bad. They're not that bad.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. Much love. See you guys.
Much love. You want hippie status.